So the second question is, if you could create an F&B related collaboration in the Middle East this year with a famous chef and a non-related F&B brand, what would it be and why? So one chef, one non-related brand, just a concept in the Middle East.
Okay, so you can never, and with respect to the question, I don't think you can ever say one concept, one chef, one brand, one thing, because you have to have your target market. So let's say we were a resort and we knew that our market was going to be baby boomers. I would be going for the sort of Nigella Lawson type of person, Gino, these guys they've got TV, they've got follow the mothers like them, people like to emulate their cooking, and Paul Hollingwood, they do the Bake Off, and Mary Berry, and I would go for them because they've got the feel good factor. They've got fantastic cooking people. You could do classes with them. You could have the chef could give class of their recipes and their ideas. They can help promote. So that would, in that resort type of atmosphere and that environment, that's who I would go with. If I was going to open a new restaurant in Dubai tomorrow, I've always been a fan of a grill fan, and forget your Asian themes and your and Chinese and teppanyaki and whatever else you go for in concept. I've always been a fan. Maybe it's my South African background and braai flacing and barbecuing, and you know what I mean. So and meat. So my choice would be an Asian grill fusion.
Yeah.
And one of the leading sort of chefs in the world now with Asian fusion is a guy called David Chang, very American based. A lot of again, because of Las Vegas and New York, a lot of these concepts and chefs are come out of America now, and as opposed to the culinary chefs, which I was talking about earlier, coming out of France or UK and Europe. So I would probably go for David Chang, and he's got a chain called Momofuku, which is really popular, and it blends again. It brings in the Asian feel. And I think a lot of people like Asian, and particularly a place like Dubai, you've got a lot of Asian, and people do eat their meat. They like their fish. They like their meat. They like their grills. And there's some really good restaurants in Dubai leading the way, or in that line. So that's probably what I would do.
And also outdoor dining, it could be collaborating with, I've seen one where it's collaborating with a chef, I think it's James Martin. He collaborated with Land Rover. They'd go off into the countryside and do the cooking classes or dining, but in different spots where you wouldn't normally.
Well, exactly. I mean, there's so much you can do, and then if you've got inside, outside, and then nowadays the big thing are DJs, and the big concept now, which you need to bring in, and this is if you look at our partnership with Livet and what they do with Mississippi and the extended dining. Extended dining is you go to one place, you dine, you entertain, you have the music, you have the night club. You don't have to go trawling around town. You don't have to wait in queues to get into the next. So it's an all-in-one encompassing thing. And so that to me definitely is the theme that I'd go. And if I was creating a restaurant in Dubai, I'd certainly try and make it a one-stop shop and collaborate with the entertainment guys, collaborate with the music people, the music side. We would do the food side, and then whatever other entertainment you've got to bring in and collaborate in. And then obviously social media. And collaboration with social media is just huge. And that certainly we know these clubs who say I'll fill up 40% of your tables, and they commit to it. And then so you're collaborating. Again, you're collaborating with someone who's going to fill your club or your restaurant, certainly on nights when you possibly wouldn't fill it yourself.
Yeah, and again, it's a win-win. I think it goes back to that question that Naeem was asked from Gates Hospitality, and he was saying, if you are the organizer, it tends to be that you will gain more than the people who come in. Whereas what you've just said is actually it's a win-win. So we may have do the food stuff, but you would collaborate equally with, say, the musicians or people who bring in the 40%. And it's then a mutual benefit for everyone to be putting in all the effort.
Exactly, and that's if you can't do it yourself, and very often you can't. You need to bring in people who've got the expertise in filling, and they've got the database, they've got it. I mean, when I did a talk. Funny enough, with Gareth, I did a talk a while back with on the Barasti and the success of the Barasti. And you talk about influencers. The influencers of the day were the air hostesses, and I had a book. Got 4 or 5 air hostesses who I used to phone and say, look, we're doing a promotion this night or party this night. We've got a DJ coming, or we've got a band coming, or whatever it is. Can you help us fill? And they'd bring in 200 air hostesses for us, or whatever, because they had the book. People would follow them, and they were the influencer of the day before influencers were discovered. And they were magnificent, and I would give them I'd give them a couple of nights for their family whenever they come, or can't remember, or maybe free drinks for the night and meals and whatever. And that was how we used to reward them for bringing people to us.
Perfect. So easy. It sounds so easy.